ځانګړې کړۍ ده د پاکستان په فوج کې چې همدغه کار ورسپارل شوی.
موږ د سر او مال ټول سره ولاړ دي، حتی دا اوس موږ ته وسله پلاس راکړي موږ پاکستان ته ورځو.
لکه مخکې د وروس په وخت کې د امریکا وخت کې موږ ورته ولاړو، زه په خپله هم ورته ولاړ یم، دا اوس هم زه
له پاکستان سره زموږ اړیکې نورې ژورې لري.
دغه پنجابیان دا خو دا که موږ خپله دغه قوم ته پرېږدوي دا خو سره موږ تاریخي جنګونه کړي دي، دا موږ ته نه دي ټینګ شوي.
نه تجاوز کړی، نه تجاوز کوو او نه موږ د جنګ طرفدار یو.
هر هیواد او هر دښمن چې په موږ باندې د یرغل یا د یو حملې خارجي فکر مو لري، موږ ورته غاښ ماتونکی ځواب ورکوو.
هر چا چې په بد نظر زموږ خوا ته کتلي دي، موږ په ډېر تلوار د هغو سترګې رایستلي.
Hello and welcome. You're watching Special English News Bulletin on RTA News. Thank you for joining us. I'm Suleiman Talash. We begin with a joint delegation led by Turkmenistan's Foreign Minister and the Islamic Emirates Minister of Mines and Petroleum visited the ongoing Topi project. Both sides emphasized the expansion of pipelines, construction of new facilities, and speeding up the project's progress. Herat Governor Sheikh Maulana Islamjar said that many facilities have already been built along the Topi route and the work is progressing rapidly. He assured that there are no obstacles to the project's implementation and both countries are committed to its completion. On the other hand, Dr. Mullah Abdulwasi, Director General of the Prime Minister's Office, met with the board members of the Afghanistan's Women's Chambers of Commerce and Industry. According to the Prime Minister's Office, Dr. Wasi appreciated the Chamber's coordination with relevant ministries and described the role of Afghan businesswomen and entrepreneurs as significant in the country's economic development. Meanwhile, Higher Education Minister Sheikh al-Hadith Maulavi Nida Muhammad Nadim met with the consular of the Egyptian embassy. During the meeting, Mr. Nadim said that Afghanistan and Egypt share closer religious and historical ties. He praised Egypt's policy toward Afghanistan, describing it as respectful of the country's values and laws. The Egyptian consular commended Afghanistan's current stable security situation and said that Egypt has provided necessary facilities for Afghan students studying there, reaffirming his country's commitment to further cooperation with Afghanistan. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Islamic Emirate has expressed condolences to the government and families of the victims of the traffic accident in Egypt that claimed the lives of several members of Qatar's Emiri Dewan. The ministry in a statement said that 3 members of Qatar's Emiri Dewan were killed and 2 others injured in the road accident in the Egyptian city of Sharm el-Sheikh. On the other hand, the white flag of the Islamic Emirate has been raised at the Afghan embassy in New Delhi. Indian media reported that on Sunday, the white flag of the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan was hoisted in the embassy's hall. The ceremony was attended by the Islamic Emirates Foreign Minister Maulavi Amir Khan Muttaqi, who also delivered a speech. Analysts believe this move signifies the Islamic Emirates' growing official presence in New Delhi. Over the past 17 days, nearly 143,000 Afghans have returned to Afghanistan from neighboring countries, either voluntarily or forcibly. The Ministry of Refugees and Repatriations urged host countries to treat Afghan refugees fairly and in line with international law, avoiding their use for political purposes. Here is the rest of the story.
For over 4 decades, the plight of Afghan refugees has remained unresolved. Those living in Pakistan say their situation has become unbearable, describing themselves as victims of political manipulation and treatment that violates international law.
Afghan refugees are deeply concerned about whether the current tensions are politically motivated and whether the consequences of such conflict may once again affect them. Those Afghan migrants who are returning are being resettled appropriately within the country. The instrumental use of Afghan refugees for economic gain or political pressure is a fundamentally illegitimate act that violates human dignity. Such actions not only damage the international reputation of the implementing country, but also pose a potential threat to regional stability.
At the same time, the Ministry of Refugees and Repatriations urges host countries to treat Afghan refugees in accordance with international standards and encourages a refugee to return to Afghanistan voluntarily.
د مهاجرینو موضوع له اوسنی وضعیت پورې تړل یوازې یو مغالطه ده.
Linking the refugee issue solely to the current situation is misleading, as the forced deportation of migrants has already begun earlier. We believe the refugee matter is a humanitarian issue and that politicizing it is forcibly deporting people violates all international principles. At the same time, we urge our Afghan brothers abroad that now is the time to voluntarily return to the country and live freely and with dignity in their homeland.
According to official figures, nearly 143,000 Afghans have returned from Pakistan, Iran and Turkey over the past 17 days, both voluntarily and forcibly.
د دوی له جملې 14,000 او کورنۍ له پاکستان راغلي.
So far, 16,007 families have returned from Pakistan, 2,721 families from Iran, and 11 families from Turkey. Additionally, 43,308 single individuals have been deported. In total, 142,701 Afghan returnees have been registered.
Recently, Minister of Refugees and Repatriation Maulawi Abdul Kabir, in a meeting with refugee affairs representatives in Pakistan, said all resources of the Islamic system should be effectively used to support returning Afghans.
The Ministry of Public Works says that over 117,000 metric tons of goods were exported and imported through the country's railway lines in the past week. According to the ministry, the shipments were carried out via the Herwatan, Aqina, Torgunday and Herwat Khawaf railway routes. The regular meeting of the Media Violations Evaluation Commission, chaired by Maulavi Hayatullah Mahajir Farahi, Deputy Minister of Publications at the Ministry of Information and Culture, was held. According to the ministry, the meeting discussed strategies to address the financial challenges facing media outlets. Sheikh Shahabuddin Dilawar, head of the Afghan Red Crescent Society, held an online meeting with Alexander Matthew, head of the Asia-Pacific region of the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies, and Homana Nader, the Federation's deputy representative in Afghanistan. The discussions focused on improving services for the victims and injured of the recent earthquake in Kunar province and implementing joint humanitarian activities. On the other hand, Nimroz Governor Sheikh Mohammad Qasim Khalid met with several national traders to discuss and address their challenges. During the meeting, traders shared their concerns and suggestions with the governor. Mr. Khalid said the Islamic Emirate supports national traders and is ready to provide all possible cooperation. He assured them that issues related to transport vehicle scheduling will be resolved and that further transit facilities will be created in coordination with Iran. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres warns that rising climate change is threatening millions of lives and urges urgent global action. Afghanistan's National Environmental Protection Agency also calls on the international community to resume suspended projects and release funding. Take a look at the detailed story.
Concerns over climate change are mounting worldwide. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres recently warned on his X page that millions of people face life-threatening risks due to the escalating global climate crisis.
As the climate crisis intensifies, disasters are increasingly destroying lives, livelihoods, and decades of development. Yet funding to address these impacts has reached critical lows. Urgent financial support is needed to combat rising risks and ensure a safer environment for all.
Experts in environmental protection and climate change say that global warming is driven by greenhouse gas emission, droughts, strong winds, and irregular rainfall patterns.
Greenhouse gases are being emitted, and their concentration in the atmosphere is increasing. Agriculture can be a contributing factor. Still, at the global level, the major responsibility lies with countries that have long been industrialized and advanced since the early stages of industrial revolution.
Afghanistan, ranked 6th global in terms of climate change risk, has its National Environmental Protection Agency urging the international community to restart delayed projects and provide necessary funding to address the crisis.
We call for reactivation of all climate change-related and environmental protection projects in Afghanistan that are currently suspended. These projects should be resumed, and Afghanistan should be granted access to new global opportunities available in the fields of climate change, mitigation, and environmental management, so it can benefit from those initiatives.
Mr. Bahar emphasized that Afghan representatives should take part in all international conferences addressing climate change.
We also hope and request that Afghanistan can be formally invited to all regional and international conferences and forums on climate change and environmental management, so that Afghanistan's voice, along with the environmental damage and challenge it faces, can be heard and shared with the global community.
This comes as residents of southern and southwestern provinces are being forced to abandon their villages and communities due to that impact of climate change.
A rally is underway in Gardez, the capital of Paktia, in support of security forces. Participants praised the recent courageous response of Afghan forces against the Pakistani regime and its ruling authorities, expressing full national support. At the same time, similar rallies are taking place in Kabul and several other provinces in support of the security forces. And the final one reached that British Prime Minister Keir Starmer has announced that the United Kingdom will provide 20 million euros in aid to Gaza. According to the Reuters, the assistance will be delivered through UNICEF, the World Food Programme, and the Norwegian Refugee Council to support Palestinians affected by the war. That's all for now. Stay tuned to the latest news updates from RTA News. Thank you for watching.
ځانګړې کړۍ ده د پاکستان په فوج کې چې همدغه کار ورسپارل شوی.
موږ د سر او مال ټول سره ولاړ دي، حتی دا اوس موږ ته وسله پلاس راکړي موږ پاکستان ته ورځو.
لکه مخکې علي وروس په وخت کې د امریکا وخت کې موږ ورته ولاړو، زه په خپله ورته ولاړ یم، دا اوس هم زه ستا کاڼي او بوټي ټول مونږ ته لاړونه دي وینه پرې توی شوي دا سره لکه ګلونه دي وینه پرې توی شوي دا سره لکه ګلونه دي کله څوک
له پاکستان سره زموږ اړیکې لوړې ژورې لري.
کله څوک نیولی شي دا د زمریانو کور دا د باتورانو
دغه پنجابیان دا خو دا که موږ خپله دغه قوم ته پرېږدوي دا خو سره موږ تاریخي جنګونه کړي دي، دا موږ ته نه دي ټینګ شوي.
نه تجاوز کړی، نه تجاوز کوو او نه موږ د جنګ طرفدار یو.
هر هیواد او هر دښمن چې په موږ باندې د یرغل یا د یو حملې خارجي فکر مو لري، موږ ورته غاښ ماتونکی ځواب ورکوو.
هر چا چې په بد نظر زموږ خوا ته کتلي دي، موږ په ډېر تلوار د هغو سترګې رایستلي دي.
څو چې وي ژوندون زموږ ستا تاریخ به یاد ساتو، څو چې وي ژوندون زموږ